If you watched the last video, I was saying that precious metals were pulling back in this flag, and it's the first major correction in a bit, well, at least, you know, in dollar terms. But this was going to give a good opportunity to go long, but I wasn't sure how far this would pull back, but I said I wasn't expecting it to be very far, and looking for a buy here. It came, you know, within a couple of dollars of that, but it's broken out of this flag, and it's looking very bullish, and so I'm looking for an entry in this area, you know, in the low 1230s or high 1220s, and with a stop below this low, so stop right around 1227 on this 15-minute chart. Targeting about 1250, but that might take a couple of days. So these prior lows, or 1245, like these prior lows here, I think that anyone who's holding along is not gonna, you know, just, at least, you know, the people with enough money to actually trade, because they know what they're doing. They're not going to hold, not a lot of them are going to hold it through there. So there's going to be some kind of profit-taking reaction there. So, like, I'm kind of just thinking that that's where people are targeting, and people are not really going to sell, I think, to a large extent before then. But I think this has a good chance, as I said before, that it'll get into the 1300s before seriously pulling back, just because this first move from the lows in gold, and this is where I recorded that video a couple weeks ago saying there's a very good chance gold is turning around now to start a major bull market on a longer term basis, and you've gotten that being confirmed by the price action. So I am looking for an intraday long position with a stop below here, and you have a similar situation in silver, where you have on this 4-hour chart, you see this major reversal forming, cup and handle, which is a reversal pattern. Obviously it's reversing this major trend, this major selling. So you have this cup, handle, and then breakout, retest. This is so textbook. And then I said, obviously, if sometimes it'll kind of retest twice in the cup and handle. That happens often, but it's less likely. And obviously, with this higher high on this 5-minute chart that was formed, similar to when gold broke out of its flag, you are getting signs that people want to buy this. Now, zooming out a bit. So, you're getting the invitation to go long somewhere in this middle area with a stop below this low. Now, will this fail? It might, of course. There's always that risk, but because this pullback just occurred and the higher high, there's going to be there's going to be enough people who buy in this area, and you'll see some kind of reaction. And if that looks like it's lower high and it's failing, then you can maybe move your stop or something like that. But in a bull market where a lot of people are going to be buying, any excuse to buy that is actually technically valid, that's safe and not like overreaching, is something that really needs to be considered, like, doing. But don't overreach. Don't chase anything. Plan things, and you have to be willing to not take things, and if they're not in like good locations, the first and foremost is protecting yourself, and then after that, I might get the opportunity to get into with a good entry, or I might not and end up kind of empty-handed, but at least I won't lose. And that actually is the way to actually make money, because the tendency is for people to want to make that money, and they end up doing things that are overly risky and expose themselves to too much risk, and then they get slammed, or they get exposed to too much risk, and then it starts going against them, and it's still technically valid, but because it's going against them and they got in late, they start freaking out, and then they'll get out only to see price turn around. I'm sure all of you have experienced that, but you have to understand it consciously to really be able to fix it. And so always keep that in mind. Anyway, yeah, this is offering a good situation. Maybe it'll start happening in Asia, because Asia hasn't traded gold that well lately, but Asia is a time where gold and precious metals often do run trade with good volume. So that is just keep this in mind. There could be obviously something very good, very good trade situation going on. Technically, everything looks very sound. Like there's no reason for me to think that anyone would sell. So anyway, keep that in mind. And if you want an update on the rationale behind this major bull market, you can watch prior videos and I explain it more there. All right.